know whether you've noticed, but people at the moment, unfortunately, are getting quite irrational, getting quite upset, and you're finding people are getting tetchy. So really, why is that happening? We understand that people are going to be emotional, irrational. There's too much to do, but why? What's the link between too much to do, getting emotional, having a breakdown, and what's the process? How can we manage it? So it's actually all linked to your brain. It's linked to the science of the brain wave. So as you know, scientists have managed to measure the frequency and cycles of your brain waves. So we go through different brain waves and cycles when we are asleep, when we're relaxing, when we're busy doing things. So for example, when you go to work, you are always processing and concentrating and managing and formulating and planning. And that's really important. Our brain at that time is in what we call beta wave state. That is, we need that. The cycles it runs at quite fast. We need that to be able to do the jobs that we do. The question is, what happens if you stay in that state for too long? As you know, teachers, we run in half-term cycles. So literally we have like a half term of running at 150 miles an hour and then we suddenly stop. So if you continue in this beta wave state, what happens is that you start getting tense, you start getting agitated, irrational, anxiety starts building up in your body, because every time you're doing things, your brain is firing neurons and making those connections. So the question is, what if we slowed the cycles in our brain down? What would actually happen? The only way you can slow the cycles down is if you stop data coming in. Because even when you open your eyes and you look at your phone, your neurons are firing in your brain constantly. So if we gave our brain a break and literally sat down and sat still for a few minutes with our eyes closed, you'll actually start noticing difference. So the brain runs in backlog, a bit like a computer. There's the backlog. So if you sat down with your eyes closed just for a few minutes in the silence, within about 3, 4, 5 minutes, you'll start noticing difference in your body, in your physical body. And I know at the moment we're going to say, oh my God, I haven't even got 5 minutes, because you know what, neither have I. I have not got 5 minutes. But you know what? You can make a cup of tea. You can sit down with your cup of tea and with a few biscuits. So what if you sat down with a cup of tea, a few biscuits, sat down, closed your eyes for a few minutes, 3 or 4 minutes, and then drank your tea? Try it. Because what will then happen is that because your eyes are closed and you've slowed the input down, then your brain will naturally move into something called alpha wave state. So the cycles of waves slow down. And when they slow down, because your brain is slowing down, your physical body starts calming. You start having more imagination. You actually feel you've got space and capacity, and your body starts relaxing. So that anxiety starts reducing. Now, at this point, you've still got your to-do list at the length of your arm, and the morning you come in is going to be another arm's length, because you haven't cleared the backlog. But your body starts calming down, and it's about managing. It's about managing the stresses that are going on at the moment. So let's say you decided, oh, I'm liking this and I'm calm and I want to continue. Your body will then naturally move into theta wave state, and that puts you into like a meditative state. And when you're in that kind of state, you feel quite blissful. Your body and your arms, your legs, you probably don't feel them. So if you're not used to doing this, it takes a bit of time. But let's say you continue this practice 5 minutes a day, your body naturally runs into what's called delta wave state, because your brain waves are slowed down so much. And then when they slow down that much, you get into a point where it becomes restorative to you. Literally, your cells can regenerate. So if you spent 40 minutes in delta wave state in your brain, sitting still, it's the equivalent of 8 hours of sleep. All right. And then when you move on, again, if you start learning to sit still and you're calm, your brain can run into what's called theta wave state, which is basically Tibetan monks do that. And they're in that pure heavenly bliss, pure intelligence. Okay. So the takeaway from this is, I know we're all busy. When you grab a cup of tea, just sit there quietly with your eyes closed for about 3 or 4 minutes before you drink your tea. So extend your tea drinking experience to about 6 or 7 minutes, and you'll start noticing a change in your physical body, your anxiety. You won't be so tetchy, you won't be so irrational. And believe it or not, you'll start getting inspiration on how to actually manage and cope with your workload. Okay. And I wanted to wish you both a very happy Christmas to everyone as well.